Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a front brake job. We got some Hawk brake pads I'm going to put in. I'll show you what they look like in a minute. First things first, you got to set these pins back. You could use a tool like this. This one's a little thick, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with it just to get it moving. And then this is what I have right now, a small screwdriver to push it all the way through. I'm going to show you what those pads look like, and then we'll start removing those pins. So I decided to go with the Hawks. They're a ceramic pad, low dust. I couldn't deal with it. Tired of dealing with the dust, plus I need brakes, so I was like, let me go with these. I've had these in other cars before with a lot of success, no noise, and great performance, so I figured let's give it a run with this car. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's see. And now you're going to keep pushing the pin back. You can see they come out fairly easily. So that should be good. I should be able to remove it. You got to push the tension clips back. I'll swing you around so you can see what's going on. I'll set it back a little more. Just was missing it because I don't have the right tool, but as long as you catch the tip of it, you'll be okay. And you'll see the pin go out like so. So I'm going to leave that one partially in, and I'm going to get working on the lower. Lower one's moving already. Hopefully my head's not in the way. So the pins are most of the way back. Hopefully you can see it. But that one's out. They only go in one way, so to repeat the process, this is the back. You're going to feed it back in and you'll hammer it back in. I'll show you how that's done. Get the lower one out. Clip. May not even need to. You don't even need to. In this case now. And the lower one is out. I apologize if my head was in the way. It's kind of hard to film and do it, so I'll just keep them in the same spot. Upper, lower. I just like to do stuff like that. Alright, so now to get this clip out, it'll all come out as one, but to make it a little easier, you could just spread the pads apart. I'm not touching the rotor, so I'm not going to cause any damage, and it's actually going to compress the piston as well. Just slowly push them apart. There you go. More on the lower. Now the assembly should start to come out. Sometimes they're a little stuck because they put some kind of adhesive, I believe. I've seen in videos, but let me just work it out a little more. So now I've managed to spread the pad out enough. Decided to use this. Pad's coming loose. Start to lift up on it. This side's out. This side's still stuck to the piston a little bit, so I have to pry it. All right, so the glue on this side was giving me a little bit of a hard time. So what I did was I went back in the car. I pushed the brakes so that the pistons would squeeze again, and then I proceeded to spread again. And now the glue came loose from this side. Now we should be able to get out. So initially I spread them. This side went back. This side stayed. That was my issue. So then go back in the car, tighten this all back up, and then spread them apart again. The pistons on the front side shook loose. So now, when I pried the not from the rotor, from the pads, You can see everything is loose. And now, let me see if I can spread this a little wider. Everybody should start to come out now. Just make sure I got enough spread. Enough spread. Yeah, this should all be loose enough to come out. Make sure this is good enough. It's good. Should be good. Now let's see if I can get this out. Yep, whole assembly coming out as one. There we go. There's the front side of the pad, pretty low. The rear, don't forget you got your sensor there. This you're gonna have to reuse. The sensor just pulls out from here. Might need a screwdriver to get this out. Doesn't really matter at this point because we're not reusing it. We have a new one. I'll show you the one I got. But I'm just gonna, there you go, sorry, pop that up. That's how you remove the sensor. You can see it already made contact, so it's no good anymore. Sorry about the sun. There you go, you can see the contact right there. And I'll show you how to do the routing, put the new one, and set up the new pads. So to finish compressing the piston, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the pad back in, and I'm going to use that as leverage. Then I'll get a screwdriver and get between the pad and the piston, compress it all the way. Same thing with this one, get in between the pad and the piston, and compress it all the way. It's flat, flat, flat. Could also get another tool, excuse my head, because sometimes they'll come back at you. There we go. Use two. I'll bring in, 1 second. As you can see, they are, sorry about the glare, it's just the sun, it's terrible. As you can see in here, pull the pad out. The pistons are totally flush now. So you never want to touch the rotor. If you touch the rotor, what's going to happen is you're going to make marks, you'll get noise. So use the pad as leverage, put the pad back in for this side. And then repeat the process for this side over here. You can see the pistons are still out. Put the pad in, get the screwdriver in between the pad and the pistons, and you'll be good to go. So now for the brake sensor, it's pretty self-explanatory, but you're going to remove it, reroute it, and then the box for it is back here. There are two little clips underneath that I just already removed because I can't do it on camera. As you can see them, you got to pull them up. Be careful, you don't want to snap them, otherwise the box won't secure. But that's the connector. You're going to pull that out and just swap it out. All right, third attempt for the sensors. It's a little cold, so I'm gonna have to use a plier just to squeeze it in a little bit. There you go, went right in. A lot easier than your hand. Tools are always your friend. So just a little pressure, goes right in. Don't even waste your time using your hand, because if now it's a little cold over here, the rubber's kind of hard too. So you're just basically fighting it. Going back there. If you can see it so well, but just get a little squeeze on it. Goes right in. And then we'll just connect it and we're good to go. Alright, so the sensor went in nice and easy. By hand, for some reason, it was really tough. With a little silicone spray and a plier, everything just sits exactly where it needs to go. So now we're going to get our pad. We're going to install our brake sensor. That is here. Put it on the pad. This side goes here. Goes in like so. Gets routed on the caliper there. So the pad's going to slide in. Like so. Actually, I got to put the clips in. It will slide in like so. You don't want to forget your clip. Okay, so with these, it looks like the clip is just going to sit on top, like so. There's a groove here. So we're going to push the pads in. They're seated. Going to get our sensor wire. We're going to push that in so it doesn't move. That's good. And this is going to sit right into here where it belongs. And then your pins will just slide in. Yeah, so this has to catch here. And we're going to make sure we get it through the other pad. Line your pad up best you can. Now the same with the other side. You're going to push your clip. Same thing. Line that. Push your clip back. That way you can feed it. Like so. This one's a little harder, but we'll get it. There we go. Got to line up the other pad. Okay, we're almost in. Go. Now everything is lined up. You want to make sure they're lined up. You don't want to start smashing them. I'm just going to double check real quick, make sure so I can see good. Okay, lower one looks good. Going to tap it in. Lower one's in. Up one, tap it in. Go in straight. Yep, looks good. Pull this off. So now this is how it should look after it's installed. Pins are all the way in, both sides. You want to be under this part of the clip with the pins, the slide pins. And in the back, you want to be pretty much flush. I could probably tap those in just a tad more. Sorry for the glare, but I'll tap those in just a tad more and we're good to go. Pump the brakes and do the other side. Okay guys, so that completes our video. Brakes are installed, both sides. Took it for a test drive. No squeaks, nothing weird. Car feels normal stopping. I will give a review eventually on how the stopping is once they're broken in. On this particular box, there's no specific break-in. Hawks in the past that I used to use, they would have like some kind of break-in procedure, but these don't have any particular break-in procedure, so it seems to just drive normally. I'll drive easy the first 100 or 200 miles, and then, you know, I'll start, you know, using them a little more aggressively and see how much better they are than the stock ones. So if you have any questions, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. And hopefully with that, this brake does, because that's the main reason I went with those. I can't take it. Anyway guys, take care.